just gave us a beautiful rundown of all the things that you've experienced as a real estate agent. Would you say that at this point you have perfected or very easily figured out how to navigate different real estate transactions, from condos to investment properties to residential to everything that real estate entails? Do you feel like you can now navigate those areas very easily?
Besides commercial, yes. I feel like I can walk through someone through the process of all those aspects for sure. One would just be getting to meet phenomenal people that you would never meet otherwise. Like I said before, most of my clients become my work family, my real estate family, and it's so rewarding to be out in the community and have people come up and say hi to you, or people you've been seeing for a while, or run people to the grocery store or Costco. Like Costco for us now, like you can be going there just for catch up, and it's easily an hour trip now just because of the people you run into. And I love it. But if we ever need to go to Costco in a hurry now, I have to send my husband, because there's no way that I'll get in and out very quickly. And it happens to him too, just not as much. But
he's not as popular as
yeah, like he's popular. He's had twice now. People had ran into him in stores. They'll see his truck. It has Bobbie Jo sells homes on the back, and someone has said to him like, "Oh, you're Bobbie Jo sells homes husband," and he's like, "Or I'm known as Scott."
Yeah. Or I'm Scott.
Or people call him Scott.
Yeah.
No, but I think besides that too, like for myself, I'm proud of myself for navigating through some really difficult situations. Like sometimes you work with some clients or other agents who are not as professional, and trying to maneuver around that. And I don't want to say doing their job too. I'm sure they do a pretty good job on their side. But, transactions wouldn't close unless we step in and we do certain things. And for instance, the year that my son was graduating, our youngest son was graduating from high school, we were going to Cabo for a trip. And before I left for Cabo, the other agent she didn't do the inspection pump on a property in Pierce County. And she's like, well, I didn't know we had to pump the septic system. I'm like, well, that's our job. Like, people pay us to do these things. And that made her a little spicy. Like, I maybe should not have used those words with her, because after that, the communication between the two of us was very, very poor. Well, we go to Mexico. The title department is having a hard time communicating with her, so I keep trying to call, text, email from Mexico. Well, the closing date changed, and we got our extension signed. At the last minute, she got her extension signed, but then we had the new final seller's disclosure came out, and her seller needed to sign it. And when we landed from Cabo, and then from the title department, they're like, we cannot, there's no way they can close tomorrow if they do not sign this new seller's disclosure, and we cannot get a hold of the other agent. So, while we're still on the plane, I'm calling the other agent, and I'm saying to her, like, this needs to be done today. I just landed. If you cannot be there, if you're okay with it, I'll go pick it up and I will get it to your client to sign. And so then we're getting luggage, and she comes back and said, thanks. Yeah, you can go do that then. And so I rush home and print out this addendum that needs to be signed, this form, and then drive out to Eatonville, which is about an hour drive. And then her client was arguing with me about the commission structure on the seller's disclosure statement. And I had to explain to him, like, well, these are things you worked out with your agent, like 4 months ago. And if you want to close, you have to sign this in order for us to close tomorrow. So he did. So I rushed home and I faxed it over to the escrow department. But the escrow department never heard from the other agent. Like, not even, like, the whole entire process, they never returned a phone call to the escrow, which is pretty important that we're both talking to the escrow department, right? So in that aspect, like, people will ask me, like, well, why did you do that? Because it wasn't your client. Well, because my client would have suffered the consequence if it wasn't signed, right? So it was worth me to get off a plane and drive the hour there, hour back, and get it sent off, because it saved the deal. Otherwise, we would have been signing an extension. And people think sometimes too, like, extensions are easy, right? Like, just ask for an extension. Like, I think I hear lenders say that all the time. Like, just ask for an extension. Well, it's not that easy. Like, if in the meantime you have someone else that's really interested in this property, and perhaps they put it in a backup offer, well, it's not going to be that easy just to get an extension. If there's other competition on the other side, they may decide to not sign an extension and may choose to go with somebody else. So, you never want to bank on just getting an extension. In our case, if we were asking for another extension, then because he was mad about the commission structure, he could have chose to fire that agent and maybe go with somebody else. And like, everything could have changed. So, from an agent's perspective, you really want to always work your hardest to make that first date work. Yes.
And so I think you could also easily say that when buyers or sellers are looking for agent representation, that maybe one of the key things that they would want to make sure of is to be sure that their agent is knowledgeable when it comes to contract understanding and document understanding and process understanding, and to know what all those little nuances look like, so that somebody like you can show up for them at the last minute like superhero and go do what needs to be done, rather than saying like a lender does, right? Oh no, these extensions are just so easy.
It's so easy.
Yeah, it's a piece of cake. Yeah, it's a given, right?
Yeah.
No, not a given.
It's not a given for sure. It's not. Another situation, ironically enough, I was on vacation again, but we were closing. So I had a closing was supposed to be happening on Friday, and I was leaving on a Thursday. And so I was having my assistant meet the other agent out there, and she was going to get the keys, and so we had the keys to hand over the next day.
Which is a great time to take vacation. It's one day from closing.
Yeah.
And what can go wrong?
Yeah, well, exactly.
Right.
Well, my assistant called me. I'm actually boarded on a plane, and then she called and said, there's a problem. There's no way that this guy's going to be out of here by tomorrow. Like, it does not look like there's any way at all. And so I reached out to the other agent saying, what's his plan? Like, if he's not gonna be out by tomorrow, what's plan B? Like, what's it look like? And then at the same time, I'm calling my client, giving them a heads up, like, hey, it does not look like closing's gonna happen tomorrow. What was your plans to move in? Sometimes people are planning to move in right away. Sometimes people are planning to get new carpet, maybe move in a few weeks. And these clients had said, we're not going to be doing anything till Mondays. We have plans over the weekend. So you can let him know that he can have until Monday. And so before the plane takes off, I'm calling the other agent, letting her know that, hey, if you can send me a rent back contract until Monday, we can get it signed so your client can have through Monday. Can you confirm with him that he can be out by Monday? So she says, yes, no problem. She's playing nice in Sandbox right now. She's like, yes, no problem. Mm-hmm. So then we get that problem taken care of. So on Sunday, I'm flying home. And before I come home, I call her and say, hey, what's the status? How's your client looking? Are we great to have keys tomorrow morning? And she says to me, I have no idea, Bobbie Jo. Contractually, I'm done. So your seller, we gave him until Monday, and you're telling me you have not been by there to check on him, and you have no idea. She's like, nope, contractually, I'm done. And I just wanted to pull my hair out. Like, who would say that?
Well, contractually, she's not done because there's an extension until Monday.
Technically, yes, but technically she got paid too. And like, what incentive does she have to get it done? Her response was too that he was a very difficult client, and she's just done. I had no idea how hard it was. So I'm not looking at my clients as a payday. Like, I'm looking at my clients as just people that I can help. And if you go to a really good barber or a really good nail person, you're gonna leave looking beautiful and feeling fly. Like, I feel like I can offer that to my clients.
Feeling fly.
Yeah, feeling fly. I don't know. When you go somewhere, I go for services that I'm taking well care of, and it feels great. And I think that I offer that in the real estate transaction. Like, my husband makes good money. We can eat without me working. I work mostly to what fills my plate, makes me feel really good, is when I take really great care of someone, and when they refer me to someone else, because then you did a really great job for someone. So for me, customer service, like, obviously, making an income is great, definitely, but I can hang my hat higher and feel great when I just know I've taken phenomenal care of someone. Well, hopefully with building the team, I see myself going on a few more vacations. I really hope my husband and I can get maybe some vacation property in the mountains. We can go there and decompress. Our kids will want to come there and go hunting. Like, that's where I see myself in 5 years. I feel like if I really work hard in the next 5 years on building my team and giving them the tools to succeed, that it will give me a little more free time. In my dream world, my team is going to be probably of just 5 agents, and I say that just because for myself, I still want to be very much involved in all the transactions and be there to mentor all the clients or all my agents. And so I think a team of 5 would be probably as far as I can span myself. And I just want it to be a family atmosphere. So I'm building a work family. Like, when you're a real estate agent, you don't have the camaraderie of having work family, right? So I'm building my work family right now, and when I say that, I mean that. Like whenever when I worked in oral surgery, like those were my family, those are my sisters I worked with, and so I'm building that right now on my own. And so I think that for myself, I don't want to get too big where I cannot spread myself and help everyone with on my team. And so I want to be a small boutique that gives awesome customer service. That's where I want to be.